Welcome to a physionic video. We are going to be answering the question of why do some people not see a benefit from supplementing with creatine? So, in a short, sweet, science-based video, what are we going to do? We're going to answer that question. That's what we're going to do. Let's get to it. Okay, so why do some people, most people that take creatine, see a benefit from it? Well, let's focus more on the muscular aspects, but they see a benefit. So they gain a little bit of water weight inside their musculature. They know that it's affecting them because they gain this water weight, and then suddenly they see a little bit of a boost in gym performance, for example. But then there are some people that take it, see no increase in water weight, and nothing happens. And that's probably the most telltale sign that you see an increase in water weight, because that's always going to happen with creatine. No matter which creatine you take, if it's effective, you will see a gain in water weight. So, that said, what happens? Why? Why is that the case? Well, there are a variety of reasons. I'm going to list two of the major ones. The first one is that because creatine is created endogenously, so that means inside the body actually synthesizes its own creatine. That means that some people could be synthesizing enough creatine that they are saturating their muscles. So if they're saturating their muscles, there's no room for more creatine to come in, so your body just excretes it, just gets rid of any supplemented extra creatine because it doesn't need it and it has no room for it. It's like a garage that's completely packed. You can't fit anything else in it, but somebody wants to move their car in there. Not gonna happen. So you're gonna have to move it somewhere else and your body just gets rid of it. Now that's the first reason, and that's probably one of the more popular reasons and probably the most prevalent reason. But the second reason is something that most people probably don't really think about, is also the size of a muscle can matter. So specifically talking about the cells of the muscle. So certain cells are much larger than other cells, even within the context of musculature. So we're talking about type 2 fibers and type 1 fibers. Type 1 cells, type 2 cells, glycolytic cells, oxidative cells, however you want to define it, but essentially type 1 fibers are more for long duration exercise but don't have much of a glycolytic capacity, don't have a capacity to do a lot of burst power movements, and type 2 tend to be more on that strength based, less of a duration but tend to be more powerful. Those fibers tend to be larger than type 1. So type 2 tends to be larger than type 1. So that said, if you have more type 1 fibers, then that means that you're going to have a smaller muscle. So you tend to have a smaller muscle. So tend to have a smaller muscle in terms of the actual cell itself, which means that it's also possible that you're going to have less creatine that's needed to saturate that muscle. Not to mention that the bigger ones, the type 2A and type 2B, can enlarge quite a bit, and that can fit in more and more creatine, up to a point. Of course, there's always a limit. So those are really the two big reasons. One is because a person can just naturally kind of saturate their muscles and supplementation is just not going to work because your body just gets rid of it. And secondly, because a person could have primarily type 1 fibers, could be a long distance runner, could be really good at long distance running, and their genetics have just predisposed them to having more type 1 fibers. So creatine supplementation, their body's already saturating it full, or there's just no use for it. Okay, hopefully that was informative. I try to keep it as short as possible. But those are the two main reasons. There are probably others. I've got to think at least one more listed in my article below with all my sources as usual. Yeah, that's it. Subscribe if you want to, that'd be awesome, and like and share the video, and I will see you next time. See ya.